Today's video is brought to you by A&Z Sales and Service right in Everett, Michigan, your local gun and ammo dealer. Stop in and let Zach and Amara know we sent you. Great people, great prices. Hey guys, we got some good stuff coming this week in a couple of videos that we're going to touch on, kind of highlight on, take some advice from some folks that have been watching the channel and some recommendations on really going back over some of the videos that I've done in the past. We got some new stuff coming, but just slowing down and really showing folks in a more thorough process, I guess you could say, on some of the stuff that I've been explaining. So I've got a perfect situation on a farm that I'm on here today, and wanted to stop long enough. We're going to do this in a couple of pieces here, but you always hear me talk, teach and preach side access, and that's something that, like I said, I will continue to do so until the last day of this business. I feel that strongly about it, especially on small parcels. I think that guys and gals, everybody included, gets themselves in trouble trying to do too much and too interior, and how that all ties together. So today, this property that I'm on is a perfect example of a perfect equation of using the contour and also side accessing. So here, what I've got, guys, I'll show you from behind. This is my east fence row, just off my east fence row, because of a low logging road that was here. It's only about 30 yards from my east fence row, and it's right here. And this old logging road that you can see that runs up behind me is my trail, if you will, my foot trail, that ties into the rest of the trail system for the deer. But this is my foot trail, my access into it. And as you can see, as I'm standing here, this trail goes up behind me, east fence row. I'm walking to the south right now, so I'm looking to the north now talking to you, but behind me is to the south. And what I'm doing is I'm walking up this two track real quiet, and like a morning. This is a really good morning setup, but it's also a good evening stand. Different parts of the season, but walking up this two track, it's right next to my, it's kind of it's steep here, going up to the east. So I stay right on this logging road. It's been here for years, and it's close to the east side of the property. Now, if it's a smaller parcel, then we'd be on the fence row. And if these trail systems, like you hear me talk, these trail plots, this would be the trail plot that's planted. If not, then if it's a larger parcel, then you can do the food plots and the all the stuff that we've talked, normal plots, and side access on corridors and bedding areas such as that. But back on topic here, this is the two track that runs up to the east. This is heading south, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, as you can see here, from this grade, or this elevation, it goes right up to the west. Fence lines to the east, trail that I walk in on, it goes right up, not real steep, but pretty steep to the west. There's a ridge, and as you can see, the stand is up in that one of those trees right up in here on the top of the ridge. So I'm going to show you how we access side access, and the reason is, so I'm going to walk in, show you here, we're accessing from the east, and this ridge system right at the top of this two track is a trail just before it crowns the hill. And this is one of those bowls that I've always talked that you'll see from the stand once we get up there. So walking in to the south on a south wind, winds in your face, walking on the east side of the property, west winds, going across the two track here, right up the ridge. Everything, all the bedding area, all the corridor, all of the travel, everything is over the top of that ridge. So we're coming in from the back side of it, sneaking up the ridge to the stand. Everything else is on the side of it, and the bedding is on the ridge, but way down off the end down here, 200-300 yards from it. And the ag is 300-400 yards back to the east. So you can see we're right in the center, like we always talk about, and this kind of shows you snaking up these trails, going from here right up the backside. Now, if this was a situation, and this has already been created, this has been here for years, but this is a situation where you're starting this new and creating this, find these locations, find this ridge system. This is a hogback ridge that runs all the way down that we're on top of. It keeps continuing on, and it runs to the northwest-ish, and it runs back towards the feed. And like I said, we're coming, all the travel is over the crown. There's a trail just to the south of the tree stand that crosses this trail, but it's to the south of the tree stand location, right where our water tank is. And that in the licking branch that you've seen me put from last year, that's up on top of the ridge, and that's an access. But as you can see, we don't cross it. We're not crossing the line of travel, and we're accessing from the side. So come along with me. We'll walk up here. We'll get up in the stand, and I'll show you how it looks like from above. As you can see, we're creeping up on the back side of the stand here. Everything below us is back down the hill towards the 2-track. We just walked up the 2-track. This ridge runs left to right, that being back to the north, this being back to the south. And as you can tell, I'm fat and out of shape, but yeah, so this stand location, once we're up there, you'll be able to see water holes right down here on the ridge. This drops right off. It's a big bowl. So we got feed out the top of the bowl that way, and all the bedding areas down below. Everything works past on the top of it, just over the crown, the top third, right out the end. Very powerful setup. All right, guys, we're up in the stand now. As you can see, first thing I did is strap myself in here. I've just got my lineman's belt today. Just put it on real quick, just because I'm going to be actually taking doing some stand work here, and I just want to crawl up in here and take a minute to kind of show you this, like I said. But this goes to just to show you side access, the power side access, and we're going to tie something else into it here at the end. But this is where I come down or come in from, you guys. You can see right above that old dead stump there is that 2-track that comes in, and this is where I side access. You get to the stand here, it's all uphill from there. So from here, now that we're up here in the stand, this is looking back to the southeast. This ridge runs, and it runs right to where you can see the water hole right there, and right next to it, between me and that water hole, is that licking branch right there on the top of the ridge. And as you can see, the scrape was open. They're still using it, and just pulled the cameras a couple weeks ago, because I'm doing some switching with some cameras and some playing around with some stuff. But that's where it is. This shows you now. So I'm on the top of this ridge, and everything from here down. So we got feed all that way. All the ag is off the top of this ridge, directly off the top of that ridge. All these trails that do cross it, that go over, there's a low spot in the fence here just to the east. Everything crosses right by the licking branch, right by the water hole, and it goes down through the bottom across. But as you can see, I stop back here, come in to the stand. None of that side access gets, so this is a perfect small parcel situation. This is the back corner of my property. I come right up, and I don't cross it. The property line's up here, and I just don't cross it. All the activity that comes over the ridge, that starts over the, you can see this is an open side hill, and right down at the bottom is all down in this direction. Down in there is all the bedding area. Comes right up, trails come right through here, and crown the top of the hill, right back down the bottom out to ag. And then there's 2 trail systems that leave right down that way and head out. Morning setup, we catch a lot of deer coming, filtering back through, hitting the water hole, going right back down. But as you can see, I'm off the side, starting in the bottom, walking right up to the base of the tree, double set here, and walking right up to it, climbing up in it. Nothing bedding area in the evening. Everything's down here. Nothing hears us, nothing sees us. They come by, they never even pick their heads up. They go right on past, and away they go. So you can this is just kind of to show you how the power of side access and how this all plays out a little bit. So I hope that answers a few questions. I've had that question, you know, by how do you not cut the line of travel on some of these. Now, the larger the parcel, you have to get just that tricky as far as this ridge. This ridge on mine happens to be, it runs parallel with my fence row, and it's just perfect. I've got a low access point to the east. I've got a higher ridge to the west. All the bedding and everything else is down below it, runs back to the south, and this is just one of those perfect setups. And I've got this in a triple, or actually quad maple, soft maple tree here. And I'm a big soft maple tree stand guy if I can find the right one, but I'd rather be in the right spot than the right tree, so that doesn't happen all the time. But I hope that kind of clears some things up for you guys. And to tying the last part of this in, as I highly recommend, if you can use these in this area, bring everything up here to the top, them water holes, them licking branches, that all just adds to it. Like I've talked in the past, don't put one of those licking branches in a spot where you're not going to hunt over. Just don't randomly put them out through the property with no rhyme or reason. Use them as this right here, and what it does is, as you can see, is it just draws the attention to the south of me a little bit more. This is a south wind setup stand here, but that just goes to show you, kind of walks you through there how I side access and using the contour. I mean, it can be, I've seriously crawled up into the stand with deer on the west side of this ridge. I mean, they were standing 100 yards down there, and I crawled right up in the stand, and they never picked their head up. And because they never heard me coming, you got all this noise, this whole ridge, blocks the noise. And on the personal farm that we're buying, I'm going to be able to do a little more improvements. So there's a couple spots on there that you'll see some regrowth on top, thickening stuff up. These corridors, line of travel, transition areas that are real thick that I speak of. This one here I can't do a lot with, more than what has already been done in the past. And so kind of a neat little setup. Just wanted to show you that, kind of go over it. Side access is huge. Small parcels. If you get to a point, guys, where you master this art of side access, the large parcels are a breeze. And but if you overlook it on small parcels, the large parcels, don't ever let anybody tell you hunting a large parcel is easy. It just gets that much more important to understand this. And but learning the art of side access, how to use the contour, is how you make these small parcels explode and benefit. So we're gonna do another quick video here while we're here today, and that'll be our 3 for the week. And I got a couple things to do on the farm here, so we're gonna get busy. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you got any questions on this side access, drop a pin, Google Earth, Onyx Hunt, whatever the case is. I'll talk you through side access. And like I said, there's only so much I can do from the air without seeing it as far as exact stand placements, but and habitat improvements and stuff like that. But I can do quite a bit of it, just kind of outlining, especially small parcels, getting you a great idea on how to pull that off. So thanks, guys. Get outside, get some fresh air, and we'll get through this next couple of weeks that they got us on lockdown here. But no different than the rut. When everything goes on lockdown, we'll get through it, just as we do in November. So hang in there.